Good morning, bird brains, and welcome to the first episode, or maybe the only episode. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but the move episode series thing. Let's get into it. So the very first question that a lot of people ask when you say, hey, I'm moving, is where are you moving to? Well, we are moving to a very small town just east of Seguin, which is about an hour east of San Antonio, called Kingsbury, B-U-R-Y. And actually, here's the town of Kingsbury. As you can see, very, very small town. This is, well, to my knowledge, I really haven't gone and looked at the town very much, but this little stop sign coming up here, that is the only flashing light, stoplight if you want to call it. It's not even really a stoplight, it's just a flashing red light to let you know, hey, there's a stop sign here. And it's right here off of Highway 90, which ironically enough, if you follow this highway about 5 hours west, you actually end up in my hometown of Sanderson. So kind of a weird little turn of events, but we're not actually living in the town of Kingsbury. We got to take a little trip a little bit further east. I guess you might also be asking yourself, why are you moving out in the middle of nowhere? Because it is a pretty secluded area. I've definitely lived in more remote areas, that being Sanderson, but both me and Mrs. Bird, is it Mrs. Bird? Both me and both Mrs. Bird and I grew up in small towns. I grew up in a town about 800. She grew up in a town about 24,000. So very small towns in comparison to the millions in San Antonio. And I guess we've always kind of had the idea of, you know, one day purchasing some property, getting out of the city, and that's how we like to live. We like to live not where you can throw a baseball and hit the house next door. But I will say that was more of a 10 to 15 year plan. We did not expect to be doing this before our daughter Luna was even in school. But the way that the real estate market is exploding in San Antonio, thanks to the influx of Californians, our house in San Antonio went up in value by about $61,000 in 2 years. So we went ahead and cashed in and said, let's just try to do it now. And thankfully, we have an awesome realtor by the name of Josh Boggs. Shout out, Josh. A lot of you guys have seen him. He is the former president of the Guardians of the Children MC, or I don't know, people get upset when I call him an MC, so whatever you want to call them, a motorcycle enthusiast club, I don't give a shit. Anyways, he's a super good guy and a even better realtor, and he was able to get us top dollar for our house and was able to find us a nice little piece of property out here in Kingsbury. So I'm not going to show you exactly how to get to it because you guys on the internet seem to get a little weird sometimes, so I'm just going to kind of fast forward to when we're on the actual property.
All right then, keep your secrets.
Good.
Say bye, Luna. Or hi, Luna. Okay, cool. All right, so I did not get that filmed on time at all. I was gonna actually film right when I got here, but I got here a little late and had a lot of work to do. I'll go ahead and start showing you guys around the property. So everything's really overgrown right now. We've gotten a lot of rain lately, but yeah, this is basically the front yard of one of the houses that is here. So this is the house that we will be living in when we first move out here. So this is a single wide mobile home. It's really nice inside, but it's a little on the small side, about 1,300 square feet. So it's a little too small for a family of 3 plus 2 dogs, but everything that you see out here is included with the property. So all these buildings are coming with the property. Goes back this way, and you might see a fence on video out here. That's not the property line. The property line sits about, I'd say, 100 to 200 yards that way. It sits on 10 acres, so I don't know exactly how wide it is. I don't know the actual property dimensions besides it being 10 acres, but yeah, It's our little piece of paradise out here. This is a 20 by 20 barn that I explained to you guys. I think I explained to you guys earlier on camera. I'll go ahead and take you inside here real quick. So nothing really fancy right now. I will say that pretty much everything on this property is going to take a little bit of work, but that's how we got it for as good of a deal as we did. But 20 by 20, so it's actually very similar to the size of the garage that we currently are working out of. But as you can see, it's 16 feet tall and has a loft built into it. This will be turned into the metal / woodworking shop. Metal, of course, will be for the bikes and stuff. Woodworking will just be for stuff on the property and things like that. But this will be the workshop. So I'm also thinking about turning this loft into a paint booth because there's really nothing up there right now. Or I might have the paint booth down here, woodwork shop, I don't know. I haven't really thought it out in my head, but I'm trying to keep metal shavings, wood shavings, and paint out of the shop. And trust me guys, we will get to the shop here in just a second. This building back here is a she shed. It was literally being used as a she shed. The previous owners had a little crafting station in there. We don't really have any plans for that right now. The only plans we kind of have for it is turning it into like Luna's playhouse. So she'll have her own little place to go and play. It's air conditioned and all that, has nice floors. But right here in this general area is where the barn and the shop are going to get moved to. Reason being is because also there's a little greenhouse right here, so we might take up farming or growing our own herbs or vegetables. But reason we're moving it over here is because of this. This is a double wide mobile home, also around 1,300 square feet. So it's not much bigger than the other one, and it's a whole lot less nicer. The reason that we're gonna be moving over here is because this house is no longer going to be here. We're going to be taking this, moving it off the property, and putting in a much bigger, much nicer double wide right here. So you might be asking yourself, well, who's going to be moving into the other one? Well, with us, you know, having a baby and needing babysitters every now and then, we're actually gonna be selling it to my parents. So Mama Bird and Papa Bird that you've seen in multiple episodes will be moving in over here. The houses aren't really that close apart, probably about 100 yards or so. So we'll still have all our personal space and all that, but they're gonna be sharing the property with us, which will be very nice and convenient for when, you know, Luna has to go to school and all that. Also, before I go any further, as you can see here in the video, I did a lot of marking with flags and tape and all that. This is actually going to be a driveway, so you'll be able to pull in from that carport over there. That greenhouse is going to be moved over there, and there'll be a 15-foot driveway that runs and connects over to this side of the property. Now, some of the flags are off by a little bit. Reason being is because I kind of used a satellite image to do it and didn't really take into consideration the size of the trees. So this will go to that side of that big tree because we really don't want to cut that one down. And as it's sitting right now, all these pink ribbons are trees that would have to come down, and we really want to save this one. But last but definitely not least is this shop over here, which will be over there next to the barn once we get everything set. The reason I say get everything set is because we're actually pouring concrete pads for at least the shop. I'm gonna also try to get one for the barn as well. That's gonna depend on price and cost and our budget by the time we get to that point in the build. But the primary objective is gonna be for this bad boy. This is a 24 by 40 shop. Let's go inside. So once again, it's going to need a lot of work. It's literally just sitting on bare ground. It has a little bit of subfloor over there, but it's pretty, it looks good, but when you stand on it, I definitely wouldn't trust the stuff that we have to put on it. Has a couple lights in here already, but of course that's not going to do for filming. The plan for this is to first off insulate everything because it is balls hot in here. And then of course air condition, and then I'm probably gonna finish off the walls with some sort of coverage, whether it be drywall or plywood, basically whatever I can afford at the time. And then of course fill the ceiling with LED lights to film with. But I was doing the calculations this morning, and this building is 960 square feet. I was actually off on the other video that I did. 960 square feet is the actual size of this, which funny enough is the exact same size as my very first apartment about 10 years ago. So there you have it, guys. That is the property. Like I said, a lot of work needs to be done, but that's what you have to do when you get a steal like we did. To put it in perspective, we got this 10-acre plot, which includes all the buildings that you just saw, for just about $50,000 more than what we sold our 1,700 square foot house in San Antonio for. You get a lot more bang for your buck out here, guys. Well, anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of the move series thing. I don't know. Outro, outro, outro. If you like this video, god damn, Fatness was out of shape. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.